Hi guys, welcome to today's lesson on how to play the chorus from Tender. So this is a really cool section and as usual I'm going to play it through and then go through it. As with a lot of these sections, I think I've mentioned this every time, so he would have a tendency to not play everything exactly the same every time. I'm going to homogenize things, give you just one strumming pattern for sections to make your life easier. And so the idea is you could take all these videos with Tender and play through the whole song. So that's conceptually what we're going to do here. There might be times as I'm teaching it that I might mention other versions and different ways of doing things to hopefully give you an overview of some of those different variations that Graham Coxon would use. So that's the plan. Make sure I'm going to have a link down below to the version of this song that I'm using, which is the version I remember as a kid, which is them obviously playing in the video black and white with the kind of the choir around them. But I think the actual album version is slightly different in terms of the timings of things. But in that video, this version starts at about 59 seconds, if I remember correctly. And that's going to basically be chorus number 1. So yeah. That's what we're going to do. I keep wanting to talk more, but I'm not going to. So the next thing you'll hear is me actually playing a cover of that version, and then I will go through all those different parts. So I'm going to actually slide into this first chord, which is going to be an A. So the shape of the A ultimately is going to be barring the 5th fret E and B, 6th fret on the G and 7th fret on the D. But I'm just going to give a little slide in, and I'm going to just really play the D string, and if I catch the G string as well, great. Sliding fret from wherever you want, but 1 fret is fine. Then I'm going to strum the high strings B and E. Then I'm going to do D and G, high strings, and again D and G, high strings, and again. So basically it's 4 of each. That's the idea. So, but with a slide on the first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and however you want to count it. The next chord is going to be the same shape but at D. So the idea is it's going to be 10th fret on the B and the E, 11th fret on the G and 12th fret on the D. Again, we want to slide in. So same thing, D, D and G, doesn't really matter too much, and we just want 1 fret's fine, any more it's absolutely fine as well. Again, the lower notes, then the higher notes. This time we're only going to do it twice and we're going to slide in both times. And you can hear that very clearly in the version from Glastonbury if you can find that on YouTube. Like that. Then we've got the same idea but with a C chord. So C chord we're going to move back 2 frets. So our ultimate chord is going to be 8th fret E and B, 9th fret on the G and then 10th fret on the D. And again we're going to slide in, 1 fret is all we need, D and G string to start and then the 2 high strings. And again it's twice. That was a bit rubbish that first one, let me do that again for you. That's it. So this is a bit we're going to do as a repeat and we're going to do it basically the same the second time with obviously we'll go through it then. So it's quite an important bit to get used to this chord shape. So this is this first section. Up to the D, slide. C, good stuff. Then we're going to go back to the A. Now here we're going to do basically a very similar thing. Now you don't need to slide in this time, it's very hard to hear whether he does. On the live version I don't think he does. According to my notes, but it does sound cool with a slide, so you can slide in to that A chord because we're going to go back to A, but don't feel like you have to. Then it's the high strings again, then the low strings D and G, then the high strings. Then I like to give a very quick hit to D and G one more time before I do this little hammer on pull off, which we're going to go through in a sec, but don't feel like you have to do that final one. You could just go into the hammer off there if that's easier for you, but I like to throw in one more. Like that, I prefer that. It's very hard to hear on the original version that I'm using, the version that's on YouTube. On the live version, it looks like he's throwing in that extra one to me. Okay, but you know, if you don't want to put it in, I won't be mad at you. That little lick then is going to be on the G string, 6, 7, 6, and then 7 on the D. So I like to keep holding the chord. That's easiest for me, and you keep the rest of the chord ringing out, which I think is a nice sound, because we're basically taking an A chord to an A sus4, which is a nice sound. So we end up with like that. So altogether, this final part, I'll do it with the slide first time, and with this extra third D and G lick. Okay? And I'll let you kind of figure out exactly whether you want to do that bits just like that. But that's how I like to do it, okay? Now the next chord is going to be a C sharp minor. So 4th fret bar 5 strings, 5th fret B, 6th fret D and G, okay? So with this one, it's a pretty simple just strumming pattern. Now, this is a kind of a big strum, then a little strum, and then a big strum. So that little strum, really, I'm just catching the A string, maybe the D string as well. It doesn't matter too much, but that's the idea. So strum, little strum, like that, and then a very fast down up. And as is often the case when we're moving chord, that's when we do it with that little down up. So we got this for the rhythm. I'll do it slowly first. And then faster. The next chord is going to be a D, but this is directly, I was really struggling with this bit, but directly you can see him on like the third or second chorus of the version from Glastonbury, and so you can see him doing this. We're going to play the 5th fret A string downwards, which is what you'd expect with a D, but we're not going to have our ring finger down for the 7th fret, we're going to hammer it on. Okay? So it makes it a little bit trickier, but it makes it more interesting. Then I'm going to play the D string as an aim, but if I catch the A string as well, I'm not going to be too mad. Then a strum of everything, and then a very fast down up again as I get to move chord. So this little section here ends up being like this. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Basically we've got to repeat then. We're going to go back to the A, but this time I don't slide in. Because I'm already here, I don't need to slide in. So the only difference between this, the first and the second time, is that I don't slide into that first A. And so I'm just going to play D and G, then B and E 4 times. I still do the sliding on the D and the C. And then again on this first one, feel free to slide in if you want to or not. I'll do it without a slide this time. There's my little lick. Okay, so it's basically the same thing, you just miss out that slide on the first one. Again, if you want to put the slide in though, it's fine, go for it. But he doesn't. We then got this C sharp minor to D lick, or riff, or whatever you want to call it, chord sequence. Take your pick. Again, but this time we do it 4 times in a row. I'm just going to do it the same 4 times in a row. Okay, what I'm going to do now very quickly is just swap round so that you can see my right hand as I strum through that sequence. Okay guys, hopefully that little right hand bit there helps. You can see I've tightened up the shot now because we are basically just going to be down this end. Okay, we've got a lot of strumming, so there's going to be lots of downs and ups, and I'll make sure that with each example I give you the right hand as well, because people have asked about that in the past. So that being said, we're actually going to start with a riff. We're going to start with a riff on A. Like that. So it's very similar to our verse riff, sorry, if you've already done that, but it's in A rather than G. Open A string, hammer on, open to 2 on the D. On the G it's open to open, and then a pull off 2 to open on the D. I downpick all of those, so don't worry about the picking there. Then we go into the G riff from the verse. I'll go through it now very quickly, but obviously if you've already done the verse, you'll know it. 3rd fret on the E. I'm then going to hammer on the A string, open to 2. On the D, open to open. And on the A, 2 to open. He seems to keep his finger down. Again, I saw that in the live version from Glastonbury, so feel free to keep your finger down or not, but that's what he does. So I'll go through it again very quickly, but that's a little riff section straight from that final D chord down here. So it would be... okay. Then we're going to go to an A. Now for this whole section I'm barring the A, but feel free to play an A like this. On the live version he doesn't play this, so it's hard to know exactly what he does, but I think you'd bar it because in the verse coming up, that's how you'd play it. Just as a little very quick reference here, he actually plays that intro main melody, in the live version. So feel free to put that in here, basically. It's not quite here. We'd have this A chord first, but then just after that. So it's just something to think about. So this A chord, I'm going to bar it, okay? And I'm going to play down, 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 up, down, down, up. Like that. So down, 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 up, down, down, up. Okay? Just staying on an A chord. That's it. Again, as I said, I'm going to show you the right hand. I'll do it slower. Position. So because I'm barring there, I'm making sure I don't get the E string. So as you can see, I'm being quite restrained with my strumming. So that's the advantage with fretting a normal A, is you don't have to be quite so restrained. But it's not a particularly loud section, so I feel this works really well. So this next bit is the Oh My Babies bit. We've got to that. This is where he actually plays the intro out over the top of. So he would play that A bit we just did, and then live he'd then go to, as he starts singing, because obviously Graham Coxon sings this part, he would then go to the intro, and basically the intro is following the melody of his Oh My Babies, so it's really, really cool. But in this version, the version that we're using, he just strums through the A and the E7 effectively, with a little lick in between the two. So that's what we're going to do now. It's the final part, basically, is this little section here. I'm going to start with the A. Again, I'm just going to bar it. You could do a variety of different rhythms. I'm going to give you one to start with, okay? Feel free to ad-lib and change it as and when you want, and do what works for you, but this will get you something pretty close to what he does. So I'm going to start with 2 downs. Then I'm going to do an up, and then I'm going to do 3 downs. And then a very fast down up. As usual, that final up, we'd actually take our hand off as we move to the next lick, which is this little trill, as we get to the E7 chord. But we'll do it as part of the rhythm, so you can practice it on its own as well. So down, down, up, down, 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 up. Okay, again, this section's a repeat, so we will be playing this a lot. So we do this twice in a row to start with, and then we repeat it. So in total it's 4 times, but to start with we're going to do it twice in a row. So let me do that. So it'd be oh my baby, oh my baby. I can't sing, but hopefully that fits things over for you relatively well, and I apologise to everyone who had to listen to me sing there. From my heart, I apologise. Let me show you the right hand on that, and I won't sing again, I promise. Okay, so for the next bit, he's going to do a little lick and then go into an E7 chord, okay? So we're just going to do this small part with the E7 chord, and then it actually goes back to A, and we'll do that separately. So this E7 starts with a trill. A trill is just a snazzy name for lots of notes very quickly. It's going to be open G and 1st fret G. We're going to hammer on and pull off. Just get as many in as quickly as you can. If you can't do many, just do 1 and it will work, but he does a few, obviously. Then it's an open low E. Then we're going to go into an E7 chord. Now this is my preferred E7 chord here, which is a normal E and the pinky on that 3rd fret B. Feel free to have that ring finger on or off depending on your preference. But I feel this is the version he plays, but again, it doesn't matter hugely and it's hard to see, but so feel free to take that ring finger off if you prefer. So my rhythm here on this E7, so trill, open E, E7 chord, down, down, up, down, up, down. And again, feel free to strum the whole chord or just a little bit. It feels like he's really targeting the B string quite a lot, particularly with the first couple of strums, but don't worry too much about that. With the chord strummed fully, it sounds really, really good as well. So, okay, that's that little section there. You can hear it's leading back to the A. It's called the perfect cadence when we go from the 5 chord, in this case, the E7, to resolve to the root, the 1 chord A. And it just sounds fantastic. And that's why it sounds so good. And if we desperately want to play that A chord, but I'm not going to, so you can have this as a separate lick. So the previous bit with the A strumming pattern, let's say you do that twice, then you do this E7 bit, okay? And you do this E7 bit just once. So let me again show you the right hand. I'll show you the trill, the low E and the strumming pattern with my right hand. Oh, sorry. Okay guys, so let's resolve it to the root then. A chord. Again, the strumming pattern here varies a lot, so I'm going to give you one here, but feel free to change it. Again, barred A, and down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, I'll say it again. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. It's just an A chord. We do that strumming pattern, and this ends the repeat. So we got that A bit twice, then the E7 bit we've just done, then this A bit, and then you repeat the whole thing again. So the A bit twice, the E7 bit, and then this A bit. Let me show you the right hand for this A bit. As I say, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Let's go. Okay guys, there you go. Hopefully you found that useful. We're nearly there with this song. I'm probably just going to do one more lesson on the solo. It's quite a short solo. I've almost transcribed it already actually. So that's going to be the next one, and that will finish our kind of 4 parts of Tender. And as I said in the intro, hopefully then you could play the whole song. So that's the idea. If there's any more Blur songs you'd like me to have a look at, if I put my teeth back in, just put down in the comments as always. I'm always happy to add them to my list. I might not get to them straight away, but I'll get to them eventually. As I mentioned before, this is my favourite Blur song though, and I've really, really enjoyed learning this one. It's been really, really fun. It's always tricky with Graham Coxon songs because of all those variations. So hopefully, as I said before, you found this one useful and you've enjoyed the video. I really appreciate anyone who's watching. It's fantastic. Yeah, thanks for watching a lot. If you like the video, please like the video. It does help. That's why people always ask. Please subscribe to the channel. Please comment on the video as well. Again, all of those things really, really, really help. And please check out all my other social medias as well and say hello on there. Yeah, I think that's all I need to say, isn't it? I think so. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. So I'll see you guys again soon for some more cool guitar stuff. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.